Good evening, football fans, and here we are, day number 2 of the 2020 NFL Combine. I'll tell you what, today was very exciting. For a little bit of a shorter day, today was awesome. We had 3 groups, one of them, very slim with special teamers, but we did in fact have the offensive line, and of course, the little dudes who run behind that big offensive line. And trust me, this year, the offensive line is huge. Also, huge in numbers. Both weight, height, and measurements. We'll be getting into that, of course, this evening. And we'll be talking about those running backs who, honestly, you cannot say that this is not a deep running back class. The class of 2020 is probably one of the most, at least on offense, okay, from the first 2 days, is probably one of the deepest I've seen in years. And I'll tell you why. These running backs, we're going to see a lot of these guys going, I'm not going to say too early, but I'm going to say that every one of these running backs who get drafted, the vast majority of them are going to do great things, because seriously, these guys are talented. Also, the big boys. This was awesome today. Seeing these guys perform, their every bit of their footwork. Some of the 40s today I saw were incredible. Okay, I'm just going to go and put this out there right now, man. This youngster, okay, young man out of Iowa, Tristan Wirfs, is absolutely incredible. He showed why he should be an early pick. Also, we had a lot of good athletes out there today. Jack Driscoll looked very good in his transitions and all of the drills. I think today DeAndre Swift showed why he's probably going to be one of the top running backs off the board. And I'll tell you, there's this other dude named Urza Cleveland, who at least got my attention. Maybe he got yours, but he got a lot of attention, I'm pretty sure, today. Ladies and gentlemen, strap in, because it is time for the Day 2 recap of the 2020 NFL Combine right here on 3 and Out on IE Sports Radio, your directory for all that is sports. Welcome, football fans. Well, here we go. We have ourselves one heck of a show planned up for y'all tonight. It should only be about a good 40-minute show around there, a little bit shorter. The NFL Network kind of surprised me tonight. I thought they were going to go all the way to 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, and they end a little bit early, which means that I'm going to start the show a little bit early and get back to writing my paper, which is going to be a little bit, I got to get that thing done. But I'll tell you what. This has really been a great day of combine action. Okay, first things first, you already know I'm all about the strength. That's what it's all about. I had a lovely little debate with one of my followers earlier on Twitter, and I follow him back. And yeah, we had it was a good little debate. Overall, I completely disagree. He disagrees with me, but I thought it was a very good, a way to kind of see things both ways, and I guess we may have met in the middle, but this is a debate that I've had with followers in the past, with, Twitter followers on, and, like I said, I follow them back, and it's not like it's animosity or anything, but I just think it's different ways of seeing things, and yeah, numbers can prove certain things, but at the end of the day, I think it boils down to one thing, which gives me the reason to lean on the side that I'm on. However, we'll get to that momentarily. But as I always say, y'all, all glory to God. That's right, y'all. First of all, big shout out to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for without him, nothing is possible. That's right. And big shout out to all of you out there listening and tuning in, showing love, because without y'all, IE Sports Radio ain't nothing else. We appreciate y'all. One more time, can we get a hand clap? Appreciate y'all, and thank you all so much for tuning in on a Friday evening. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, well, thanks for tuning in regardless. All right, so let's get into these big boys, y'all. The offensive line this year was freaking huge. We had some giants. I was talking to Mike Pat a couple nights ago, and he was telling me like some of the size of these guys, and yeah, I mean, seeing it for myself today. There's some big boys. So first things first, I want to get with the heaviest bencher. Okay, Netane Muti, I believe. Dude is a beast out of Fresno State. He had 44 reps on the bench press, 6'3", 315 pounds. He's a big dude, and I'll tell you right now, I love the fact that his drills on the field was really, really well. He looked very fluid, but I'll tell you, I think more than anything, you're just impressed by this number. Why is that so impressive? Because it's offensive line, y'all. It's offensive line. It's the position that requires strength. You kind of need a little bit of freaking strength to play the side, well, to play on the offensive line, to play on the trenches. And if you get dominated, well, there's more than likely a chance that it's because you're not that strong. The trenches is usually all about strength. You're gonna get speedsters. You're gonna get that. But more than anything, it's gonna boil down to strength, big on big. Now, I'll tell you right now, yes, it does. Sometimes these guys aren't instant starters. I know that. I know that some of these guys will jump in and become, they'll maybe take a couple of more years to develop and get stronger and better. I understand that. But overall, y'all, I just gotta tell you that I think right now, more than anything, guys, strength is the name of the game. So every year you're going to hear me complain about numbers that just aren't high on the offensive line because overall, as an offensive lineman or defensive lineman, your number one sole focus should be strength. And if it's not, well then, you know what, it is what it is. But I just feel like strength should be key. So look at the top 5 bench presses today. Netane Muti, I believe, I don't want to butcher his name, but once again out of Fresno State. Simon Stepaniak, I believe. This dude is freaking monstrous, man. The big boy out of Indiana. He actually hit 37 today. So great performance by him. 6'4", 313 pound dude. He's a big boy. And really, I mean, this right here just goes to show you once again that it is an important aspect of the game. You're going to see guys like him who's putting up a lot of numbers push around some guys. So really, great job by him today, and great job by the big boys who put up some good numbers in that bench press. Also, that was the second overall bench press. The third we had here was John Simpson. He hit 34 today. And he is out of Clemson, which of course you would guess. Big, strong hog molly out of a very good program. And, I mean, look at the weight of this dude, too. 6'4", 321 pounds. This, as we mentioned, is these guys are huge. Okay? The offensive line today really, really showed up in numbers. Literally, big numbers, big boy numbers. But, they looked very well, looked very good with overall size, which honestly, this specific class, since they're so big and they can use that weight to kind of lean on you sometimes, they just use their weight, because trust me, it's happened to me where they just lean on you. Guess what? If they lean on a smaller guy, kind of like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, it's going to happen. They're going to lean on you, and the bigger guy is going to win 100% out of 100% of the time, unless that little guy is strong enough to bench him off of you. In boxing, that can't work, but in football, it can. So, anyway, so 34 for him. Once again, Simon Stepaniak, I believe, out of, with 37 there. Then you have Jake Hansen, hit 33 out of Oregon, another big dude here, as well as, then we're getting to the I don't want to say the last, but the fifth dude here. But, let's see, where is he at? Jake Hansen, 6'4", 303 pounds, so yet again, another pretty big dude, right? Big boy out of Oregon, certainly helped out Herbert plenty in their season last year for the Ducks. So, once again, you see a lot of size here, big boys. And then, which of course, you would expect the biggest guys to be the strongest, right? Usually, that's how it goes. Believe it or not, the biggest dude wasn't the strongest, however, but he was quite impressive with his 40, I'll tell you that. Well, at least I think he was the biggest. But, and then we have Cleveland Urza, who I just was taking notes all day. This dude is absolutely great. His transition, especially watching, there was a couple things today that kind of just irritated me. Taking the rabbit out of the mirror drill was kind of stupid. Sorry, NFL, but I didn't really like that. To me, I feel like you benefit more when you have, instead of somebody giving you direction, that's what the lay on your back, the other direction, get up, and that directional moving around is supposed to be like. The rabbit drill is supposed to give you competition. You're supposed to stay in front of the man. And I know they're probably saying like, oh, well, maybe some guys are just a little too fast or whatever. No, there is no such thing as too fast. It's either you're freaking good or you're not. Your feet are good or you're not. That's all there is to it. It shouldn't matter how fast. Oh, what? They're going to, I'm sorry. We can't play this down with this defensive end because he's just not, he's too fast. So we need you to, let's just not put you in for this play because he's too fast. No, you're going to get beat. That's all there is to it. So whether it's, a defensive lineman that's being a rabbit or an offensive lineman, which of course is usually how it always went with the offensive line out there, because it's all offensive linemen, no matter what, you need to stay in front of that dude. So I didn't really care for that this year, where they took that out. I really didn't care for that at all. I thought that there should have been a rabbit no matter what, because that gives whoever the offensive lineman is a lot of work to stay in front of them. So yeah, something I really didn't care for. But Urza was very good in both of the drills, the change of direction drills around the field with the shuffle, backpedal, sprint forward, shuffle. I thought that was a very good, I love that drill, and I thought that was a very good drill for Urza. He looked really good. His transitions were smooth. I even tweeted that he looked like a linebacker, because he did. He looked very, very, very good. Great footwork, and that was somebody who I thought really stood out today and did that. So, once again, out of Boise State, he hit 30 reps today on bench press, and he's actually a junior, redshirt junior at 6'6", 311 pounds. So another big dude coming out. He looks a lot like, my gosh, I can't really relate him to anybody, but he looked very good today, though. I was very impressed with his feet and with what he looked like he can bring to the table for a franchise. So he may take a year or two to develop. I don't think he's going to be an instant starter wherever he goes, but I just was paying close attention to him today because he looked very, very well. So anyway, so let's go ahead and move it on now into my Twitter, because I was tweeting like crazy today for a lot of these players. So let's go ahead and dive on into my thoughts on some of these guys. So first and foremost, as I mentioned, I thought for sure that Urza was a very good player. After that, Mekhi Becton, man. This guy at 6'7" today, 6'7", 364 pounds. That's probably I think the biggest guy there. Clocked a 5'11". I even tweeted, that's a move for a big man, okay? The big dude out of Louisville. 6'7", 364 pounds. Just think really fast how big that guy is, okay? I think Jonathan Ogden was probably like one of the biggest offensive linemen who ever lived. And he was 405. I don't know how tall he was. He was definitely in the high sixes, or at least mid sixes, but he was freaking huge, okay? The big man out of UCLA, played a lot of his career, or maybe his entire career with the Ravens. Can't think for a second. That was when I was like kind of young, getting into a teenager, so he was definitely a giant. But I'll tell you what, you see a big guy that can move that fast, that says so much. So, especially in his drills today, he's very loud in his feet for a big guy, and honestly, I think he can probably go maybe mid. Well, that's kind of pushing it, but if he does go in the first round, that'd be awesome. But I can see him going somewhere in the second. He actually is, I mean, there's that old saying that offensive linemen take ballet. Well, they do. A lot of them do, because seriously, that makes you loud on your feet, and he looks very loud in his feet. So if he ever took ballet in his life, not trying to say anything about him, but if he ever took ballet, you can see it, because he's a freaking deer. This guy moves, man, and he is very good. He's a big boy. He has a big deer. Okay, that's more of a reindeer, but a big boy that can move. So great job by him, as well as I mentioned, Urza today clocked a 4.90. 4.94, which was awesome. Seeing this guy's footwork today was incredible. I absolutely loved seeing his transitions and seeing, once again, what he's able to bring to a team. I really do think that, Boise this year had a pretty good year, and he seemed to have been a big part of it. Playing on that offensive line, he is such a Swift athlete. Big shout out to Marcus Loves Great, by the way, in the chat room. Was good, brother. I did hear your take this week. I know it was in the chat room, but I did hear the podcast version of our brand new glove. It's not brand new, but it's about a month into it now, of Gloves Off. So great show, man. If you want to hear more about Fury, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, about Fury and Wilder and his take on it, great job, Marcus. And I'll tell you what, man, you always find a way to make everything just evened out and smooth it out. What can I say? He's the real combat sports guy here, y'all. So I got to show him some love. Appreciate you, man. And stay tuned for about the next, I'll be on for about the next 30 minutes. So stay tuned, man. And everybody else out there. So this is the big boy day. You know, you got offensive linemen. And one thing that I gotta say, though, I was a little irritated without the sled. I thought the sled was a great thing yesterday. They said that it was kind of like sticking, and it just wasn't helping with the tight ends. And I thought that, I mean, that's very key. A sled is way better than a dude holding the bag, because you're going to get that low center of gravity. You're going to get that explosion, because the sled will make you look stupid if you don't fire into it right. Trust me. You will fire into the sled, and if you don't get the right amount of explosion, it's just going to literally bounce you off and it'll look dumb. Okay, if you get a guy holding a bag, well, it's kind of annoying, because you're automatically just going to shoot your hands up. The guy's going to give, because he's not trying to give you any type of resistance, which is understandable. It's the combine. You're not trying to be a practice right now. But at the same exact time, the sled's going to give you everything. You're going to get explosion. You're going to get your hips into that, of course, which is explosion. You get your hand placement correct. You are going to get low, of course, lower man wins. You are going to be able to use your leg drive and show your bench press off, and show the sled really shows a lot. So, I was really mad they took the sled away today. Fred the sled, as they were saying today in the combine, man. I love it. But, yeah, so, good stuff there. But overall, the dude, okay, that did the thing today was Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa, man. This dude today at 6'5", 320 pounds. This dude today did the damn thing. And I am so excited for this guy, because the last dude who really came out was Scherf, I believe, out of Iowa, who really balled out, and he played for the Redskins. I don't know if he's still there, but I'll tell you what, man, this dude really, I mean, that guy was like hang cleaning 405, repping it. So I'm just saying, I didn't see Tristan Wirfs doing that, but regardless, Wirfs broke some records today, man. He ran a 4.8540. So at 6'5", okay, just think about that already, okay? 6'5", okay? Giant, he's already big. 320 pounds. The dude clocked a freaking amazingly good 40 time. And from my notes here, as a matter of fact, I have to get some things here real quick. So screenshotted it, the tweet from that NFL. But okay, a 4.8540. Okay, he's the fastest among offensive linemen this year. Then he jumps a 36.5 vert. That he can dunk a basketball, okay? Like, for real. He is a big, strong dude, because I forget, let me go look what his bench press was. It was like 24, I think, but still pretty dang good. I won't judge him on that. I mean, I'm not going to judge him, but anyway, but, you know, I do like offensive linemen to get over 30, in my opinion, 30 reps, at least to be an immediate starter. But at 24 reps, if you're going to run a 4.85, jump a 36.5, which, okay, unless you get one of those fun offensive coordinators who's going to dial up a play for you to be an eligible receiver, then yeah, you might use that for. But overall, the vert is not just about hops and getting up and catching the ball. It's explosion, y'all. And his explosion, once again, at his weight and height, I mean, that is incredible. A 36.5 is great. That is the offensive lineman record since 2003, y'all. So I think he broke it. Board may have tied it, but I think he broke it. And then he jumped a 10-1 broad jump, y'all. 10 feet, 1 inches. And that is tied for first place with that 2003 record. So yeah, I love in the tweet out here, it says they tagged him and put Tristan Wirfs 74 is all smiles, or at Tristan Wirfs 74 is all smiles. A little smile emoji. What do you call it? Hashtag NFL Combine, because absolutely, man, this dude is the real deal. Today, he really looked good, broke some records, tied some records. I mean, he's the real deal, and honestly, I really can't wait to see him play on Sundays. He is so NFL ready, and I do think that he's an automatic starter wherever he goes. If he sits behind anybody, you're just wasting his talent. He really needs to go somewhere and play well. Last year, We've seen guys like, gosh, I'm totally forgetting their names, and they were such great athletes. Dalton Risner, and he is a Bronco, and I think he got a lot of PT last year. Really, 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 really good player from Kansas, and he just showed out in the Senior Bowl last year and played really well. Wirfs played really well in the Senior Bowl as well, but this year. And then the other player, and how am I forgetting his name, out of Boston College? Oh my gosh. Well, I just screwed that one up, but is what it is. He was also a great athlete. Two strong dudes who are playing right now, and I think both starting. And honestly, this guy, Wirfs, is just, he looks very good, okay? So I'm so excited to hear him. I want to see him get out there. I want to see him play at the next, I want to see him start. He's going to play at the next level for sure. But it's really cool because I didn't even notice this guy. And when I went to the Holiday Bowl last year, where Iowa just smacked around USC over here in San Diego, I thought it was awesome because I was like, oh, I seen this guy play. I mean, I didn't literally know it was him. I didn't zoom in with binoculars and read his last name, but I saw this guy play. I just didn't know it was him. So their offensive line was certainly awesome. I can't say that I highlighted him on any plays or anything, but when their offense was driving down the field on USC's defense, I got to see him play, apparently, and he is as advertised because he was beating the hell out of our ends and whoever else he faced on our defense, and, well, he was a part of the reason why they're so good. Well, Iowa was, he's pretty good last year. So, anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and roll on over now into a couple more verticals. Let's take a look here at some of these guys because explosion is very important. And Tristan Wirfs, of course, was the best this year. Then we had Jedrick Wills. He jumped a 34.5, which is very, very, very good for any offensive lineman, but especially at 6'4", 312 pounds out of Alabama. They did say Rich and his buddy, I forgot who the other commentator was. Sorry, man. But coming out of the draft this year, he's probably going to be one of the first picks, and I completely agree. Yeah. Marcus says, I cried real tears after that game, and yeah, man, Iowa took us around the woodshed, man. And as you can see, this guy Tristan Wirfs is a big part of it. So they beat us like we stole something, okay? And we were in California. They came all the way from Iowa and brought so many fans. Why? Because we were sitting with those fans, okay? I bought tickets on the wrong side, apparently. But yeah, we're sitting on the upper deck, but kind of towards the middle of the, getting towards the end zone, so kind of away from their bench, but on the side of their bench. And there was a ton of Iowa fans, and yeah, fail on my part. Fail, Larry B. But it was pretty awesome to see, awesome people. And there were so many Iowans there. So many. And there's a lot of USC fans there, too. But I was like, wow, we just got beat up basically in our own state. We had to travel, an hour and a half? Maybe 2 hours of traffic to get there. Iowa traveled across the country and beat us down. So, yeah. But anyway, Wirfs is the real deal. And, yeah, Iowa had a lot of really good athletes this year. So anyway, taking a look there at this vert jump, though, great job there as well. Next up, as a matter of fact, whoopsies, going over. I'm getting all my sources, by the way, from the NFL Tracker, the NFL Combine Tracker here on NFL.com. But taking a look here, going back to these verticals. The reason why I'm looking at the verticals once again is because you want to see that explosion. So Hakeem Adeniji, I believe, I want to picture his name, jumped to 34, as well as John Mulcon, I believe, as well. So Hakeem, out of Kansas, and the big boy, 6'4", 302 pounds, big dude there in Kansas. They weren't the best this year, we all know that. But once again, standout players do exist, and I'll tell you, I thought that was a very, very good brog jump. I mean, for a big dude, once again, that is a very good jump. So let's go ahead and jump on over real quick. Oh, actually, as a matter of fact, I did mention one more name, and I don't want to, be a jerk and pass him up, but we're going to go ahead and get on to the brog jumps after this, because brog jumps really show a lot. That shows how, you're clean. It possibly shows your squat. That shows a lot if you can launch your body that far. So getting back, John Mulcon, I believe, or Mulchan, I don't want to butcher his name either, but out of Boise State. It's another Boise dude, and 6'5", 309 pounds. So really, overall, y'all, just a very, very, very good job by the Boise State guys, by the offensive linemen this week. But, okay, let's go ahead and get on into this broad jump, because this was, I thought, was awesome. Okay, so you have Tristan Wirth, of course, at the top with the 121, jumped over 10 feet. Then Alex Taylor, who really, really impressed me today at South Carolina State. His smooth footwork, his transitions, everything about this guy, 6'8", 308 pounds, everything about this guy screams just total 100% pass blocker. He really seems, I mean, you want tall tackles. He looked very good. Good feet, smooth transitions on pretty much all the drills. I really liked his footwork in the change of direction drill. Very smooth transitions. And it goes to show that he has lots of explosive power with this broad jump, okay? And then we're always going to look at one more. And this is going to take a quick little refresh the page here. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so back to the big boy. Oh, well, apparently. Thank you, website, for not wanting to work with me. But we have here, okay, so finally, thank you so much. Yeah, this is a very finicky website, y'all, but it works. So, also Hakeem Adeniji with a 115, okay, and of course that's a 6'4", 302-pound dude out of Kansas. So, as you can see, some love in the Big 12 here, but certainly good performance there. So, let's go ahead and move it on now back to the Twitter and take a look at some of my notes, because, yeah, I really enjoyed seeing these guys and their smooth footwork and transitions, and overall measurements and numbers do mean a lot, but they don't mean everything. And you can see that with a variety of examples who didn't have the best players, who didn't have the best combine, but turned out to be pretty good players. So anyway, a couple of guys that I wanted to highlight is they didn't have the best numbers, but I'll tell you what, they were damn good. Andrew Thomas and Isaiah Wilson out of Georgia. And I love this because I want to highlight these two guys because they're both from the same exact coach. You know what? I got to do this right now because I just, you know what, man, as good old Lee Corso would say, I got to give him a yo, because seriously, this dude deserves a yo. Okay, he deserves an applause, man. His name is Matt Luke. All right, so big shout out to Matt Luke. Because I'll tell you what, he really did a great job with these offensive linemen. You can tell. Andrew Thomas and Isaiah Wilson are two offensive linemen that absolutely tore apart the drills. Their footwork was so crisp. And what I'm talking about, guys, is their footwork is so good. They didn't take extra steps. They did none of that nonsense. They literally just took the steps they needed and fired out. Great explosion. Because overall, great job. You can tell how well coached they were. Both these young men, I hope, go somewhere and play very well, because I'm pretty sure they'll play very well, but I hope they both go somewhere and they both get drafted. I don't care what round it is, because seriously, their numbers, I mean, we can take a look. I mean, if you guys really want, let's just do a quick little glance, because I literally have to like re-hit everything. Kind of annoying when I go to the website here, but yeah, y'all, I thought their numbers didn't jump out at you. They really didn't. Let's take a quick look here and see what these guys got. So okay, so Andrew Thomas, a 5'2". Yeah, you're gonna expect that, okay? I mean, 5'2", and let's see, how much does he weigh? He's 6'5", 315 pounds. So, yeah, you're gonna kind of guess that he was, he's a big dude, okay? It's a big dude, so, I mean, you wouldn't expect for him to run the fastest 40. Okay, but then you have, let's see here. Okay, so that was Andrew Thomas. And now we're going to get on over here to Isaiah Wilson, if I can find this dude. And nope, he is not on the first page, so apparently he wasn't that fast. He ran a 5'3" Whoop-de-doo. Okay, but he, also another big dude, 6'6", 350 pounds. These are huge dudes, okay? He's a redshirt sophomore. These are huge guys. But guess what? They were gliding across the turf today, okay? Every one of their drills was so well. They did such a great job. And honestly, you can't substitute that with numbers. You can't. their athleticism says enough. It speaks volumes, and I am thoroughly satisfied with both of these guys' footwork and just their explosion. They looked really good today, y'all. So, and also really quick too, looking at their bench presses. I mean, yeah, as I know, I get on people for not having the highest bench or whatnot, but overall, let's take a quick look here and see what they recorded here. Let's see. Okay, so neither of them are on the front. Actually, yes, Isaiah Wilson, 26, which is a pretty good number, okay? 26 isn't bad. I like over 30, but that's not far from 30. It's on the better half of the 20s, okay? So I'll take that, okay? So good stuff there. And then, let's see here. Did Wilson not bench? Apparently he didn't bench, which, yeah, he did. He had to have benched. So let's go ahead and get back to that first page. So he's got to be on here somewhere. But, yeah. So, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was Isaiah Wilson. And the other young man was Andrew. And let's see where he was. And, yeah, I don't see him on here, which is kind of weird. But I'll tell you what, y'all. Both of these guys really, I mean, at this point, I guess I love what I see. I really do. Oh, Andrew Thomas. So he had 21. So, okay, not the most eye-popping numbers, but still, that is pretty damn good. I mean, these guys are both pretty strong, and they're over 20. And as I think Staley or somebody said earlier in the show, or Thomas, I think that was him, but it doesn't really matter. Or it might have been O'Hara. I forgot who was out there. There were two of them talking to the commentators. But overall, it doesn't matter when it gets to that certain point. Athleticism really does make up for it, and these guys are going to get stronger in the weight room. But I just like to see bigger numbers from these guys, okay? So, overall, the offensive line looked pretty dang good. I was, like I said, thoroughly impressed with all the big guys who were out there moving extremely well. Good numbers in the 40, lots of explosiveness, and as I mentioned, Tristan Wirfs stole the show, okay? So, really good job by him. And overall, great job with the offensive line. Kyle Murphy, actually, out of Rhode Island. We had a guy from Rhode Island yesterday in the wide receivers. And here's another Rhode Island Ram. And like I said, I think it's a low Division 1 single A, or it might be a double A. I don't know, FCS. But regardless, Rhode Island, man, good stuff there. Okay, so we got that, which I really was, extremely excited about that. Also, let's see here. Yeah, that was it for the offensive line. Okay, so let's transition now over to running backs, because this was a pretty crazy day for running backs. I loved it. The running backs today, it's very deep. I mean, seriously, even look at this, the bench press, man. Scotty Phillips hit 29, and his agility is, okay, for a bigger guy, because, of course, he's not going to be smaller. He's 209 pounds. He's a tank, though. He's 5'8", 209 pounds. Yeah, he is a tough customer. Okay, because you gotta think to yourself, okay, he's not extremely big, but he's extremely big. Because at 5'8", 209 pounds, like I said, that is a bowling ball, and he is, I think, really gonna be a premier player. I mean, a lot of that could just be because he's so freaking dense. I mean, 29 reps at 225. You're looking at a well over 300-pound bench, ladies and gentlemen. You are looking at a dude who is probably hitting around maybe 400 pounds for a 1 rep. Or in the high threes, okay? That says a lot. He's a strong dude. I can imagine the squat. If you guys remember Saquon Barkley, I mean, yeah, he's a strong dude, okay? So, don't really remember his bench or anything, but I do remember that he was, extremely strong. So, also, Sibu Olianau, I believe, I don't butcher his name, but 25 reps. Benny LeMay with 24, and Robinson James with 24, and A.J. Dillon with 23. All very good running backs with pretty good reps. This is why I get so annoyed when offensive linemen are hitting the same numbers. I'm like, you're supposed to be the strongest guys on the team, and you guys got skill players hitting what you're hitting. That's what kind of irritates me. But really excited for some of these guys, because Sebu, as I mentioned, this guy right here, man, with 25 reps at 6'3", 232 pounds, another big dude out of TCU, really helped the Horned Frogs this year do pretty dang good. Well, it wasn't the best season or anything, but I'll tell you what, pretty good stuff there for him. And overall, I mean, that's really all you can ask for. is somebody who just gives their all, and he was somebody who certainly did, and you saw it, especially today into the combine today. He looked really well. He did a lot of, I loved the change direction drill with the bags and then change direction. He didn't dance. He was real quick and one cut, one go type of runner, or one cut, go type of running back, and that's what you want. I don't care for dancers, y'all. I don't. I mean, I like to dance myself, but I don't like to dance. I mean, the football field is not a place to dance. I mean, especially running the ball. I mean, I'm just saying, if you dance salsa pretty good, or if you dance pretty good, you're going to have good hips. You certainly are. That's what you want, okay, with a linebacker. But I'm just saying, or the positions. But when it comes to running back, don't be a dancer. Just go. Go where the hole opens, go. So, anyway, Benny LeMay, as I mentioned, with 24. This dude, 5'8", 221 pounds, so even heavier, out of Charlotte. His transitions today were very smooth. He looked very good over the bags. Great hands. I don't think he dropped one ball. And this is the kind of player that can surely develop, that can possibly be an NFL-ready player now. If not, I mean, they can use him really anywhere, whoever picks him up. But he looks like he can be a very good player as well. I mean, strength-wise, it shows in the weight room. I mean, he has a good amount of reps right here on bench press. And overall, I do think that he's probably going to be somebody that can be like a backup, of course. But I mean, seriously, he looked really good today. Like, I'm not even gonna trip out like front on that, y'all. Like, he seriously looked very good. Great footwork today, and overall, I really, really like the fact that the dude ran a 4.7. Okay, he ran a 4.75. I know that's not amazing for running backs, but I don't care. He hit 24 on bench and ran a 4.75. You know what? I'll take that. The dude's not very big, but still, it doesn't even matter. He's got that explosive power, and you can see it clearly in those drills. So let's go ahead and move on over now into those 40s, because those, of course, are the big thing. You want to see that speed. And overall, y'all, I mean, today's 40s were really... Jonathan Taylor with a 4.39 surprised the crap out of me. I did not think that, I mean, he's 226 pounds, okay? He's 5'10", his stride, already taller guys, you know that. If you're bigger and taller, you're gonna have a longer stride. It's just usually how it goes. Well, guess what? Not him. He knows how to open up that 5'10" stride, y'all, and he ran like hell. Great job, man. So out of Wisconsin, by way of Salem, New Jersey, I mean, this dude, he's the real deal, and I really want to see him be able to be a part of a tandem, or maybe even 3 running backs. I don't know what you would call that, but I would love to see this guy go somewhere and make some things happen. So overall, I do like his ability to stretch the field, because I did see him in a couple of drills where he's able to, like I said, stretch the field, but he's able to like cut. He's also a one cut go type of player. So let's get into some other 40s real quick. Cam Akers is the dude. I mean, this guy, okay, now let's get this out of the way first, because as I mentioned, DeAndre Swift is a deer. I mentioned that already, and he is a freaking deer. This dude is nuts. He has an extremely quick agility. Like, he has great agility. You can tell. I mean, I think Akers was actually the first one to get the deuce, which was pretty sweet, y'all. The deuce daily drill over the bags, if you guys saw it on the combine today. But he, like, stuck it. But when talking about DeAndre Swift, I think he did pretty good too there. But DeAndre Swift, very, very, very fast, light on his feet, can change direction extremely quick. He seems like he can be a total, like, cutback type of player. Just give him the rock. He is a extremely talented player, and really, I think he can be great. And this is talking about Akers, okay? And Davison Crooks, by the way, big shout out to Mr. Davidson, man, jumping in the chat room, brother. Yeah, he says Jonathan Taylor impressed me today. He did, man. Taylor's numbers today, Taylor's agility on the field, he looked very complete. He looked very, very, very complete. So, not to cross the two, but I was just kind of talking about their this is what they relate on, like their comparison, if you will. Akers and Swift looked really, really well. Also, Dallas out of Miami. I was unaware of how good this guy's feet are, but now I know. He could seriously be one of those prize dudes who gets picked up in a later round, who becomes like a starter or a backup that gets in and absolutely just steals the show for like one game, and then becomes a starter or goes somewhere else and becomes a starter. Because seriously, he's extremely fast. I really loved watching that guy run today. He only clocked a 4.58, which isn't lightning fast, but seriously, he's a quick guy. I mean, he stands at, let's see, 5'10", 217, so he's not necessarily little, but he's actually, that's a pretty dense guy. And he looked extremely talented today. His footwork was very, very good. During the Deuce Staley drill, I've seen his footwork. He didn't hit no bags. He looked really, really well. So, another player that was on my radar. But let's go back to Cam Akers really quick. A 4.47, okay, at 5'10", 217 out of Florida State. We all know how good he looked this year at Florida State, and we know Florida State didn't really do much. But he is certainly somebody to take a look at, okay? Akers isn't the kind of guy who's going to brute power everybody, okay? But at the same exact time, with 20 reps on bench press, once again, you can imagine how his other lifts look. At 20 reps on the bench at 225, you're kind of noticing here that this dude takes the weight room serious, which also lets you know that he takes other things serious. He is an athlete through and through. I do believe that his ability to succeed in the NFL is extremely high, and he's somebody that I can really see, going very far. Not maybe, I don't know, the draft, how far he'll fall. I have no idea when he'll get picked up. Maybe like the second or third round, but I really do think that, hopefully sooner. Actually, Cam Akers, I'm going to give him early second round. I would love him to go in the first round, but I just don't know. Also, J.J. Taylor, he's actually from my neck of the woods over here, got 19. He went to Arizona, of course, the football factory, Corona Centennial over here. These cats, it's a feeding ground to Arizona and Arizona State. But at 5'5", 185 pounds, not very big, but he tore it up apparently at Centennial. They're talking about that today. And, not the craziest 40, but seriously, the guy's got really good agility, and he's definitely got that working for him. So, overall, y'all, the running backs today put on a show. I really enjoyed watching these guys go to work, and also a couple guys that I really want to make a quick little shout out to, because really seeing these guys perform really kind of just let me know, like, okay, the ones who I put at the top are for real. I'm not trying to say anything bad about anybody else, but seriously, like, I think my top 5 in a few minutes, you guys will see, are kind of, you'll see where I'm going with this, and I think you'll agree. So, anyway, Raymond Calais, actually, out of Louisiana, okay, a 4.42. Very good job, and I've tweeted that I wanted to see him in the drills. Well, he did not disappoint. He has very good ball handling skills. He has a knack for the sideline. There was one drill where he stayed in. I believe that was him. Might have been somebody else, but I think it was him. But overall, in the Texas route, he looked very good. Good hands. Very solid-looking running back here. I don't know what round he'll go in. But then, of course, I commented on DeAndre Swift being a deer. So let's take a look at DeAndre Swift real quick, y'all. Swift is somebody who I just thought was... I thought he was very good. Okay, and look at how close him and Akers are. Okay, Akers ran a 4.47, and Swift ran a 4.48. So, Swift here, out of Georgia, at 5'8", 212 pounds, he has monster speed for his size. He really, really, really looks to be the part, but is he? And what I mean, the part is like a first rounder who steps up and makes something happen immediately. Could he be somebody to be an automatic starter? So really, I'll tell you what, more than anything, he seems to be a player who I think could honestly take on that kind of a role. I really do think that he could more than likely step in someplace and be somebody who gets a lot of PT and really can make a difference. Swift is a very good running back. They were comparing him to the running backs of the past from there, of course, as they compared him to Sony Michel. And they also simulcasted him with Sony Michel and Ezekiel Elliott. Oh no, actually that was Taylor, sorry. And Taylor was like way ahead. But regardless, Swift is a very good running back. I mean, his shiftiness, I love his ability to stop on a dime. Today, he showed that. I think I don't know if he went the wrong way or however. Oh, actually, I don't know if that was him who spun. But during the change of direction drill, you could see his cuts. You could see how high he gets his knees, because that is a very important thing, y'all. If you have never noticed, a running back when he runs tries to get his knees as high as he can. Why? Because when he's applying the amount of force with that sprint, it's literally keeping his legs at it's hard to explain. If you're running with your knees as high as you can and you're running full speed, it's actually balancing you out. I don't know how other way to say it, but it's really true. I had a wise man tell me that one time, and it's true. You run really, really, really fast, putting your knees, that's how you run faster, because you're gaining more ground. And you see him demonstrate that. And through the bags, you definitely see that. Swift is a dude who I think can really step in someplace and fill and really be a big part of an offense. So big shout out to Taryn, by the way, tuning in. What's good, brother? Good to hear you, man. Glad to have you in the chat room. So yeah, man, sorry for yesterday. Hey, man, don't trip on that, brother. Busy times for all of us, man. So thanks for tuning in. So with that said, I really did like both these guys the most. I mean, both of them were extremely well. Once again, Akers looked great. Swift looked great. But overall, I gotta tell you though, somebody who stood out a little bit more, just because the fact that, and I'm just gonna say it one more time, he wasn't somebody who I did not expect him, because Miami didn't do so great, was DJ Dallas. And he stepped up today. He looked really good. Also, Eno Benjamin with a 4.57 today, clocked in really well. 5'9", 207 pounds, out of Arizona State. Seen him a little bit this year in the Pac-12. He actually looked really, really good. And Levante Bellamy, a 4.5 flat out of Western Michigan at 5'9", 192. One of the smaller backs, but seriously, could be very, very potent. Also, one more guy that I wanted to highlight here, because, I mean, really, when it comes down to it, y'all, the running backs, it's a plethora of running backs today. I really enjoyed every one of these guys' performance. And hands-wise, I mean, it's really close to call. I really do think the running backs are as deep as the receivers. Maybe not as deep, but close enough deep. And are close enough in depth. And I really, really, really like that there is this many running backs out there this year that look like that they have lots of potential. So, last but not least, somebody that I wanted to point out, just because I thought he was another Georgia guy, and that's Brian Herrien. He clocked a 4.62. Now, that's not that great for a running back. That's a linebacker, a fast linebacker, but for a running back, I don't know. He's 5'11", so yeah, you can see the strides going against him, but I can see him to another running back that was 5'10", that just ran extremely fast. I think that was Jonathan who ran that fast, so I don't know. But at 209 pounds, 5'11", no, that's not going to pop out at you. But regardless, man, he's out of Georgia, and it's even crazier that we got two running backs coming out of Georgia, a lot like a couple of years back, Gurley and Michelle. But I'll tell you what. Very good job by him today, though. He has great feet. And overall, I really like what he can bring to the table. I think that he can definitely be like a backup dude, somebody to step in, to relieve the starter for a little bit. But he can honestly make an impact, and I really like what I've seen out of Herrien. So, okay, with that said, let's go ahead and jump on in now to the rest of my comments from Twitter, because I just had fun tweeting up a storm today, as I usually do during the Combine, because I like to look at a lot of things. I basically turn into a coach on Twitter, and it is what it is. But also, big shout to Shay Pat. She's a big old Dogs fan, big old Georgia Dogs fan. I was talking about these running backs, and she was all over it, but she put #go Dogs. But overall, I really did like a lot of these guys' footwork. As I mentioned, Cam Akers, he he is agility. I put he has agility in all capitals, but he is without a doubt an extremely fast-footed running back who can find the hole and really bounce out of it if he has to. I think it looks like he has that going for him. Brian Herrien looked very good in the change of direction drill. He looks like he can shake somebody in a heartbeat, and he looks very, very good. Also, DeAndre Swift, I put is a deer, and he absolutely is. Cam Akers, I looked really good in the Deuce Staley drill. That was the first time the Deuce Staley drill was ever ran in the combine, which is pretty cool. And that was really all I had for these players today here. So here's what I wanted to do real fast. I also wanted to highlight one special teamer because I'm just saying this was freaking awesome that Michael Turk hit 25 reps on bench press. He's a punter. Yes, he is. 6 foot, 226 pounds out of Arizona State. He's a redshirt sophomore. And homeboy at 25 reps on bench press. You know what? Bench press isn't going to help you very much at punter, but I don't give a crap. That is freaking sweet. And you know what? Hey, it's going to show you he's a hard worker. So his kicks must be great, all right? His punts must be great. So I really like that, okay? So good stuff there. So let's get to my top players. So, as you already know, my top offensive lineman, surprise, Tristan Wirth today, I told you, breaking records, doing his thing. He looked extremely good. I really like what he brought to the table. I really loved his footwork. I loved his change of direction. I loved his explosion. He looked so good today, and he's going to go somewhere and really do well. So, the young man out of Iowa is going to do really well. Next up, believe it or not, I'm going to go with Urza Cleveland. Here on a 4.93 today, okay? Decent jumps. He looked great on the field. And yeah, the young man out of Boise State. Big dude, solid player. And overall, he's just, I think he's going to do a lot this year. Wherever he goes, I think he can step in someplace and be a backup for a little bit and probably earn a starting role by the next year. I really liked what I saw out of him, and he has very, very good feet. Next up, you already know I'm going with the sure pick, as we mentioned, somebody who's more than likely going to be going early on in this in the draft. He ran a 5.5 today. He is a big giant at 6'4", 312 pounds. And then, of course, out of Alabama is Mr. Wills. Okay, he is a absolute beast. He looked great today in all that he did. Overall, I really like this guy. I think he can really be a first-round pick, as Mayock, as Rich Eisen was saying today. I really do think he can be a first-rounder as well. And he looked very, very poised, very calm. You can tell that he is an Alabama player, y'all. Like, he looked very good. And I liked what he can bring to the table. So, yeah. And then on top of that, I don't even care, y'all. Just because I don't care. You may be like, oh, well, you just like their footwork. It is what it is. But Isaiah, okay, well, first things first, let's get back over to Twitter. But, yeah, so my two offensive linemen from Georgia that I just had to single out, Isaiah Wilson, there we go. Isaiah Wilson and Andrew Thomas, two big boys who had a very, very, very good combine, I think. And yeah, Davison Crooks, Wilson's the top 5 pick. And I do think, seriously, he's going to go in the first round somewhere. He has great feet, great acceleration, he's strong. His change of direction is great. He's a big dude, 6'4", 312 pounds, and he seriously he's everything you can imagine, okay? Jedrick Willis is everything you can imagine with an offensive lineman. He is somebody who is really, really, really going to help out somebody's offensive lineman. He's going to be an automatic starter wherever he goes. He's just a big dude. And he has the skill. He's not the tallest out there. He's definitely not the largest in size. But I'll tell you what, he's got tons of heart, okay? He does everything right. He was sprinting through all the drills. You look at that kind of stuff, y'all. You really do, okay? You look at him through the drills today. You look at his everything. When the coaches were yelling at everybody, of course, telling them to get through the drill, to run through the cone. I mean, you see this. You see that when a player is willing to, they're going to go full speed or they're going to half-ass it. So, I didn't see him bench today, and let me see. Yeah, he did not bench today, but I'll tell you what, he looks the part, he looks strong. He's somebody who is definitely, as they were talking about him being a first-round player, he's going to be somewhere. I don't know where he's going, but he's certainly going to be, I mean, he jumped to 34.5, and for a big guy like him, that is a hell of a jump. Okay, and going over to his broad, he jumped to 113. So seriously, he has explosion, and he is a very good player. So anyway, so he is my second off the, actually he's my number one. Okay, well, my number two. My number one is going to be Wirfs. And some people may say, like, oh, well, you're just after the records, because that's what... No. I really think that he is overall the best offensive lineman. Now, yes, people are going to hate... Well, not hate, but, oh, well, no. And honestly, Willis probably will go before him. But I think overall, coming out of this draft right now, I really do feel that why not? He's breaking records today. The guy is seriously a workhorse. You can tell. So you can disagree with me and put Willis in front. That's fine. But I'm going to go with Wirfs first. Then I'm going to go Willis. Then I'm going to pick my two guys, man. Thomas Andrew and Isaiah Wilson. Why? Because you cannot look past these guys' footwork. And you cannot look past their attentiveness in the drills. They were paying attention to everything, to detail. You can tell there was one cut, one go, change of direction. They were planning off a 1 foot today, as Rich Eisen was saying, or the other commentator. Once again, I forget his name, but I loved it because you can totally see that you don't never want to have both feet off the ground, because then you can't change direction. Well, neither of these guys had 1 foot off the ground. It was one plant. The moment that the moment that coach pointed the direction, their foot was automatically reaching for that direction, and they were going wherever it was, back, side to side, forward for the sprint. You can see these guys. I really like these two guys out of Georgia. These two young men are going to go help somebody be really good, I'll tell you that. So I like those two. And then the next dude off the board, who I am just really excited about, he's my number 5, and somebody who it's hard to not put the strongest guy up there. He, of course, that is Netane Muti. I do believe in his ability. Moving forward, he's a strong dude, and strength will definitely get you somewhere. But a couple honorable mentions. I do got to mention a guy, John Runyon, out of, I believe, Michigan, played really well. And Mekhi Becton, y'all. I mean, 23 reps on the bench press today. 6'7", 364 pounds, and he clocked a freaking... Was that a 5'1"? I forgot what I said a little bit ago, but yeah, this dude is a giant, okay, and clocked that 40. Yeah. Impressive, right? One more time. Let me go back to my tweet, because, yeah, homeboy was something else. Okay, that is impressive. Completely impressive. How do you do that? How are you that big and you clock that 40? So, seriously, you can see how hard this guy works. You can see how much he, how much he works, how hard he works. 6'7", 364 pounds, okay, and he clocked a 5'11". And as Mike Mayock said, that's probably more impressive than Ruggs running his 4.28 yesterday. Now, there's no comparison because they're different, but to his perspective, a big guy that is that big, 6'7", 364 pounds, clocking a 5'1" that's tremendous. Okay, no diss to Ruggs. Ruggs is a freaking beast, and wherever he goes is going to help out. Okay, he's fast. One of the fastest to ever run a 40 in the combine, but just saying. So I know I named like 6 guys there. What the heck, I'll give you one more. Charlie Heck looked really good out of North Carolina. I clocked a 5.16 today. And then I don't want to sound too crazy here, but man, Lloyd Cushenberry, poor guy, man, pulled up during the 40, so prayers to you, brother. Hopefully you get well soon, man, and get that hamstring taken care of. But they stopped him, and it's always this protocol. They just stop you because you don't want to hurt yourself, or further hurt yourself. So he did a really good job, though, today. And then also Jack Driscoll out of Auburn looked really well. He ran a 5.2. His drills looked really well today as well. And that was that. I'm really disappointed that we didn't get to see Ben Barch. I don't know what happened to him, but he's the Division III player out of St. John's, so I don't know what happened to that guy. But yeah, anyway, so that was pretty much it, though. Oh, and Cameron Clark actually looked really good, clocking a 5.29. His drills looked very good today. I could not oversee this guy. 6'4", 208 pounds out of Charlotte. And he also looked very well. And also Hakeem Adenahi, I believe is how you say his last name. 5'1", and he is out of Kansas, as I mentioned earlier. 6'4", 203 pounds. So those are all my top guys. I know I named like 10 of them, but really, I think we have a lot of really good offensive linemen here. I'm telling you, we have a very deep field this year in all positions. And then running backs, let's just get this out of the way. You already know I'm going with Swift. DeAndre Swift is my number one guy. He's a deer, as I mentioned. He is extremely talented. He has great feet, amazingly good footwork, and the guy is freaking able to run the rock and go somewhere. So he's my number one. After that, it's extremely close second place. Cam Akers, I think he's going to go off the board maybe late first round or maybe second round, around there. I think Swift is going to go in the first round. How can he not? He's extremely talented, so I think both those guys are going to go pretty high. After that, it's going to be hard because I don't want to slight anybody. I'm going to have to end up saying like 10 more names like how I did last time. But I'll tell you what, somebody who I really, really liked in the combine this year for running backs, that's gonna be Scotty, man. He got 29 on the bench press. Okay, shows you how a strong, hard worker he is. He got a 4.56, which is pretty damn good for a guy his size. So big boy there, bowling ball, man. He's gonna be my number 3. After him, once again, I know it's going to be like, you're slighting people. I'm going to actually go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, because why am I picking him? Because nothing popped out, okay? I mean, he ran a 4.6, not very fast for a running back, but still decent enough. Overall, this guy's field work was extremely good. He had great feet today. He had a very, very, very good day on the field, doing all of his field work, and personally, I think he's actually he may go pretty high. I put in a very good LSU team. So also, Benjamin, as I mentioned, he's gonna be up there, in my top list. But very good job here for him. But okay, so let's go ahead and recap my top guys, as I mentioned one more time. So I'm gonna go with Swift first, then Akers, then I'm gonna go Scotty Phillips. After him, DJ Dallas and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But my close mentions, of course, are for sure going to be guys like Brian Herrien, who I thought played really well today. Jonathan Taylor. I mean, it's kind of hard to not put him in my top 5, and honestly, I might substitute somebody in my top 5 for him. Probably Scotty. Scotty would probably be the guy that I'd take out and put Jonathan at number 3, because I do think he's going to come off the board pretty early. So let me edit that real quick, y'all. I forgot to add him in there. But yeah, I'm going to go with Swift. Then I'm going to go with Akers. Then it's got to be, man, has to be Jonathan Taylor. Then I'm going to go with, then I'm going to say Edwards-Helaire after him. I think it is good to put after him. And then for my final, which this is tough because they were all very, very good. But honestly, this is a tough one. Okay, but if I gotta pick somebody else to be that last part, like number 5, I honestly think I'm gonna go with, you know what? I think that's where I'm gonna fit Scotty at. Because I honestly think that he can really make a difference somewhere, okay? Sean Vaughn did really well today. A.J. Dillon did good today. All these guys did good. Also, JaMycal Hasty, really good today. 4.5 40. Really, really, really good player who I do not want to slight whatsoever. He's not going to be in my top 5, but great player there out of Baylor. 5'8", 205 pounds. Good player there. But overall, y'all, I think those are my top guys. For sure. And those are my top players for running back. Very, very tough because, as I mentioned, it's a very deep field this year at running back. But yeah, so let's go with that. I think we're going to go with that. So we're going to go Swift, Akers, let's see here. Swift, Akers, Taylor, of course, Jonathan Taylor, as I've mentioned. Then we're going to go Edwards-Helaire. And yeah, I think we're going to go Scotty. But after that, I mean, it's a DJ Dallas is another great athlete there. Levante Bellamy ran really well today. As I mentioned, Keyshawn Vaughn, A.J. Dillon, even Rico Dodwell and Jermichael Hasty. All these guys looked really, really well, but my top 5 right there gotta be those 5 because you just saw the performance and you saw how well they ran. Also, Mike Warren, I don't know why he didn't run a 40. But he looked really good in drills today out of Cincinnati. He's at 5'9", 226 pounds. So overall, y'all, those were my top running backs, and I think we have a very good running back class this year. So if you're in the chat room, let me know who you think your top is, who your top 5 are. But I'm actually out here for the evening. I gotta get back to writing my paper. But that was a fun hour of talking some football and recapping day 2 of the NFL Combine. So with that said, y'all, that is gonna pretty much do it for me today. No show tomorrow. I got a busy day tomorrow, but I'll be back at it to recap my favorite day, of course, where I play personally in the front 7, defensive line and linebackers. I play both. So I will be excited for that one. I won't have a show tomorrow, but I will have it Sunday morning to recap day 3, and then Sunday evening we'll recap day 4, of course, the DB. So look out for that. I'll have a show, I think, 8 a.m. Pacific time. 11 a.m. Eastern Time Sunday morning. That will be for day 3, to recap day 3, defensive linemen and linebackers. Of course, check me out on Twitter at @THEE_LB53. I'll be tweeting about the Combine tomorrow, of course. Plenty about linebackers and the front 7 linebackers and defensive line. And then, of course, I'll be at the race in Fontana for NASCAR on Sunday. But during that time, we'll be keeping up with everything. I'm going to actually DVR it to watch it more in depth. But I might actually do the show on Monday instead of Sunday night, but it's set for 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, but I think I'm going to push it to Monday because I really want to get in depth and really watch it. Sunday, I'm going to keep up with it on Twitter and see like the highlights there while I'm at the race, but I'm going to... I really want to watch it and watch these DBs and watch their footwork and watch all that good stuff. So anyway, so I think that's what's going to happen. I'm gonna end up moving that Monday or the DB show to Monday for day 4. But that's pretty much that, y'all. So anyway, give us some love, show us some love. Check us out at IE Sports Radio on Twitter. Give us a like on Facebook at IE Sports Radio as well. We're going to like that. Check us out at IE Sports Radio on Instagram. Check out sportsradio.com. Check us out. Sign up for our newsletter. Join the IE Sports Radio community. Become a member on the page. Check us out. Jump on our forum. Comment on the blog. Of course, join us in our blog. You want to be a part of the team? Let me know. You want to write for us or join our commentating crew or do whatever we do, y'all. Join us. Even host a podcast. We're having all kinds of fun here at IE Sports Radio, y'all. So big shout out to all of my peeps in the chat room tonight. Of course, Mr. Marcus, Mr. Davidson, and Mr. Taryn. Appreciate all of you. Good guys, man. I love you all. I love you all, my listeners, and as always, all glory to God. Once again, as always, all glory to God. For without Him, nothing is possible. Our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And big shout out to all you out there, because once again, without y'all, IE Sports Radio would be nothing. So we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, and that will be that for tonight's show. So you know the drill. Cue the music, because I'm out of here. That is going to do it for tonight's show, y'all. It has been a fun one, and I'm glad we can recap another great day in the 2020 NFL Combine. With that said, y'all, that will do it for tonight. I will see y'all Sunday morning to recap day 3 of the 2020 NFL Combine, the front 7. That's where I play. You already know I'm excited for that. I'll be having some fun tweeting. Show me some love. Give me a follow on Twitter. And chat along with me. With that said, y'all, I will see y'all Sunday. Until then, take care. And as always, God bless.